A few months ago, I drove the brand new 2 Series Gran Coupe in 218i M Sport guise, and I was mightily impressed by it. But now, it'd be quite rude, wouldn't it, not to drive the range topper, the M235i xDrive. Firstly, if you'd like to see my video on the 218i M Sport, please use the link in the top of the screen. Now before we go for a drive, let's take a look around some of the exterior and interior details, starting with the exterior. We start then on the exterior. This one is finished in Melbourne red metallic, which you don't see many in this colour, which in my opinion is a great shame because it looks fantastic. The kidney grills, much like most of BMW's M Performance range, are brushed aluminium and honeycomb. They're horizontal in this car rather than the vertical on the M135i, to give a wider, more coupe look, just like on the 8 Series. There is more brushed aluminium down the front, and the front end is very aggressive. The sculpture around the front lights is incredible. This car has the 18-inch alloy wheels, but you can get larger 19-inch wheels as part of the M Sport Plus package. Other than the brushed aluminium side mirrors, the side is very typical to Gran Coupe. The exhaust at the rear are brushed aluminium, as are the badges. The LED lights add a real width to the car. Inside, it is very familiar BMW architecture, which means everything is exactly where you would expect. BMW's interiors have taken a big step forwards. The quality is of the highest level, and the seats in the M235i are fabulous. They were first seen in the X2 M235i, and they are the most comfortable, figure-hugging seats I think I've ever sat in. You get an awful lot of standard equipment in the M235i. So let's just list a few. Operating System 7 large central screen, Digital Cockpit Professional, dual zone aircon, heated seats, a brilliant satellite navigation system, an automatic gearbox, and many more. So that's the exterior and interior design checked off. Let's go for a drive. As I've mentioned, I've already driven the 218i Gran Coupe, the base model. Now that car had a manual gearbox. This one has the auto, which to be fair, to my senses at least, is the only difference that I can feel when you're in comfort mode and you just want to cruise around. It's extremely comfortable. It's very quiet in here. The sound system is very good. We've got the standard system in this one, whereas you can get the upgraded Harman & Kardon surround sound, which is brilliant. What else can I tell you? The standard equipment is great, as you've seen. Everything's very clear. And I really do think, I've just driven my M135i to come and pick this car up. Now, I don't know whether it's just me, but this definitely feels sportier when you're looking around and looking out of it. And I don't know whether, as I say, I don't know whether it's just me, but I think the front window feels much lower down. I think the front of this roof feels lower, so you feel like you're lower down in the car, where actually you're not. You're in exactly the same position as you would be in an M135i. But yeah, the view out is great. It's a really civilised, easy car to drive on a day-to-day basis. You could daily this car, extremely easy. The 18-inch alloys, the smaller alloys on this as well, the ride is really good. It's really supple, but still very responsive when you need it to be. So that's enough of comfort. This is the bit we're interested in, isn't it, really? Sport gearbox. Let's drop it down a few cogs, and let's go. Okay, yeah, it's still a very fast car, and you know what? It feels just like the M135i. And if you'd like to see my video on the M135i, do please use the link in the top of the screen. So it means that it's very capable, it's extremely fast across the ground, The way that it holds the road through twisty, bumpy, undulating surfaces is very, very impressive. Oh, and the responsiveness from this engine it's brilliant. The gearbox, your downshifts are immediate, upshifts very, very crisp as well. And you know what? This is a great little car. It really is. Oh, the noise, what do we think of the noise? Well, you can decide for yourselves on that one. I'm still not too sure. Well, actually, it's quite good. We've got heads-up display in here, which is just brilliant. Oh, there was a bit of a crack. Okay, all right. This has only done 81 miles, so it's nowhere near bedded in yet, but it still feels mighty, really mighty. The torque is just a surge. Oh. Can you tell that it's turbo? Yeah. It's a mighty little car, this. Mighty, mighty little car. And you know what? It gets a lot of looks on the road because it's different. BMW haven't made anything like this before. Oh, I tell you, the responsiveness of the gearbox is just brilliant. What more can I tell you sat here? Well, the steering feels brilliant. And you know what? These big, chunky BMW steering wheels have had quite a lot of abuse in the press, but I like it. It's really reassuring. And here's a little tip. When you go into Sport Individual and configure it, and keep your steering in comfort. And this is my personal preference, you all might have a different opinion, but I would say keep your steering in comfort, because for some reason to me, I think it just feels like you get a bit more feel through the steering rack when it's in comfort. Sport, from my opinion, feels a bit too weighty and artificial, but still, the responsiveness of the steering itself is lightning quick. This thing changes direction like a housefly. So the question that I wanted to answer myself from a personal point of view is, does the 235 feel any different to the 135? And no, it doesn't, which kind of makes sense because it's on exactly the same running gear, gearbox and engine, really. Yeah, wasn't really going to feel any different, was it, if we're honest? But still, it's a nice day, and it's a great excuse to take the 235 out for a first drive.